You can rap a little bit. Maybe you can rap a little bit. You know what I mean? Maybe you can rap a little bit. I'm gonna start rapping, man. And everybody gonna be saying, man.
Canelo Alvarez has responded to Terence Crawford's claim that he would give him a serious beating if they ever faced off. While some may see this as typical fight talk, Canelo found Crawford's comments offensive and disrespectful. Yeah.
It's like Crawford because he move a lot and the fight is not that great. I think Crawford, don't get me wrong, he's a great fighter. But for me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me.
Canelo might find it even more insulting that Crawford is significantly lighter than him, though size isn't the only factor in boxing. If it were, heavyweight champions would always dominate. In response to Crawford's insult, Canelo declared he'd knock him out before the fight even started, a bold statement he hasn't made about any of his last 5 opponents.
Call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, you know, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
That being a bigger...
As a top fighter, Alvarez constantly faces challenges, including Crawford's. It's an honor that everyone dreams of fighting me, Canelo said. He chose to fight Banga, an undefeated Brooklyn boxer who made a name for himself by knocking out 16 opponents in the first round. Canelo added that Banga is a young, active fighter, making this matchup exciting.
Focus 100% on this fight. Look, I don't like the way he talks. And I'm not in this position because of any. I'm in this
doubts about Crawford's chances due to his smaller size, saying a tricky game plan might be Crawford's best option. He's a good fighter, Alvarez said. He thinks he can do it all, but things are different at 154 pounds. That's why weight classes exist. While Canelo admires Crawford's style, he pointed out how it stands apart, especially in fights like the one against Moff.
If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way.
What was
I don't need it.
What didn't you like about how he approached? Like, what was...
It's not a...
Looking ahead, Alvarez suggested waiting a bit longer before facing unbeaten former 168-pound champion David Benavidez. Benavidez is focused on a fight with the future undisputed light heavyweight champion to be determined when unbeaten Russians Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev meet in Saudi Arabia on October 12th. Fans will have to pay to see that fight, Alvarez said. He's also interested in fighting in Japan, inspired by former featherweight champion Oscar Larios, one of his idols, who fought there often.
The way to approach. It's not the way to approach to me. Look, I respect everybody and I respect Turkey, but look, if
I prefer to take things one fight at a time, but fighting in Japan is something I'd really like to experience, Alvarez shared. I grew up watching Jorge Lers, who fought there often, and it's something I want to do. As for Saudi Arabia, Alvarez is uncertain about fighting there, expressing frustration with the Boxing Federation, including a leak over their treatment of him.
Claro que no. La quiero para mi hijo, por favor.
Sí, no, aquí yo creo que Crawford needs to fight Teofimo first.
Rumors suggest Alvarez might finally face David Benavidez soon, but he's reportedly demanding $200 million for the bout, which Nashik doesn't seem willing to pay. Alik, who has reshaped the boxing landscape in recent years, is credited with revitalizing the sport's popularity. However, Canelo appears hesitant to align with Alik's approach, and Alik has shown little interest in working with him recently, shutting down the possibility of the fight.
Possible in boxing, is that something you'd actually be interested in?
You know, it's crazy when you asking about that because you say, your match is coming.
Speaking to the media, Alvarez explained why he's asking for $200 million to fight Benavidez. He's a great fighter, and he comes into the ring with 25 pounds more than me on him at fight night. It's a risk, but I'm open to it if the money's right, even tomorrow. However, a $200 million deal would require a massive financial return, something Alik is well aware of. You was here?
Payday, obviously, but I don't want that fight. I think Teofimo deserves more than me.
On his Z handle, Alik addressed Canelo Alvarez's comments, saying, "I heard Canelo respects me, but doesn't like how I handle business. Whether he respects me or not doesn't matter. He dislikes my approach because I focus on big fights at fair prices, which isn't appealing to those who want easy matches." Alik also questioned Alvarez's commitment, stating, Canelo is looking for easy fights. After losing to Bivol, he's been avoiding real challenges. I'm not the one afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crate. He's just making excuses with demands for unrealistic payouts. While I focus on meaningful fights for boxing's future, he seems content with putting on simple, low-stakes shows.
Yeah.
If Turkey has said that he's not interested in the fight anymore, what's your reaction or your response to that?
Terence Crawford is likely feeling disappointed, as he had envisioned a fight with Canelo Alvarez as the highlight of his career, offering him his biggest payday. Crawford was open to the idea of a thrilling showdown with the Mexican star, provided the financial terms were attractive. As the saying goes, if the money's right, the fight's on.
It was no different from 147, to be honest. Israel just was a strong opponent. You know, we knew that coming in.
Crawford added, "Right now, Canelo has a fight lined up with Edgar Berlanga on September 14th. I'm going to take some time off, enjoy this win, and focus on my family and the accomplishments I've achieved in boxing." When asked again about a potential fight with Canelo, Crawford shared his thoughts.
Right hand wasn't bothering me. You know, I wasn't really too much worried about the right hand. You know, he landed a couple of times at the end of the round where he was trying to steal it around.
It's not a priority for me. It's just another step toward achieving greatness and financial success. Before the talk of Crawford and Alvarez began, Canelo and Turki Alik had clashed. Their feud dates back to several months ago when Alik, known for revitalizing boxing through the Riyadh Season movement, shared an update on social media.
Ali Sheik say that he sent an offer also to face Crawford for coming up here. Is that true, or what happened with that?
No, I don't have any offers. And look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and then we'll see.
Alik outlined his plans to keep hosting boxing events in the US and shared updates about top fighters he's worked with recently. Most notably, he challenged Canelo about a potential fight with Crawford. While Crawford sees it as a legacy-defining fight that could secure financial stability for his family, Alik had publicly committed to making it happen.
We will send you 2 gloves if you want to play in Saudi Arabia. That's it. He said to me, send to me 2 Ferrari.
Canelo was also asked about the amount he'd require for a fight with Crawford and reportedly mentioned on $50 million. Whether that figure was genuine or a negotiation tactic is unclear, but it might have contributed to Alex stepping back from arranging the bout. While it seemed unlikely for a time, seasoned boxing fans know that negotiations often revive unexpectedly. If both fighters truly want it, the fight could still materialize. Meanwhile, Canelo is set to face Andrew Banga on September 14th in Las Vegas. On the same day, UFC will also host a massive event competing for attention. Despite the buzz, Canelo appears uninterested in a mega fight with Crawford for now.
Because of any. I'm in this position. If he wants to work with me, it's in my way, not in their way. I don't need it.
The Mexican boxing star has emphasized his focus on the upcoming fight with Edgar Berlanga and remains hesitant about facing Crawford. With the highly anticipated fight against the young talent Berlanga set for September 14th, recent discussions about a potential Crawford matchup fueled by Turki Alik have only added to the media frenzy.
Pound for pound, you think that's fair to you?
You know, it's a few people there who deserve the #1 pound for pound, and it's fine.
Canelo Alvarez addressed the topic, saying, "I'm not interested in that fight. I think Teofimo Lopez deserves it more than me. Yesterday, I received a message about discussing the Crawford fight for February, but I told them I'm fully focused on my fight with Edgar Berlanga. I respect Turki Alik, but if he wants to work with me, it has to be on my terms." Following these comments, Turki Alik announced he is no longer pursuing a fight between Alvarez and Terence Crawford.
But look, if he wants to work with me, it need to be in my way.
You said you feel Crawford is easy. You felt that Crawford.
Al-Sheikh has shifted focus, declaring he is no longer interested in making the Alvarez-Crawford fight happen. Instead, he will concentrate on promoting Crawford in the US market and building up other top fighters like Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Gervonta Davis. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez reiterated his policy of not discussing future fights when he already has one lined up, even when pushed by Al-Sheikh, the latest power figure in boxing. "I just wrapped up an important meeting with my team and am planning major fights for 2024 and 2025. I've decided to move on from the Canelo fight and focus on bigger bouts in the US market, particularly for the legendary Crawford." My attention is on Riyadh Seasons Wembley edition on September 21st, featuring Anthony Joshua versus Dillian White. Depending on the results of this and the October 12th Riyadh opener with Bivol versus Beterbiev, I'll finalize the Fury versus Usyk rematch card on December 21st and a massive event in early 2025. Stay tuned for major announcements.
Okay, I'm focused 100% on my fight, and I don't really care about it. They called me yesterday. They text me yesterday if is it possible to.
Undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez shared that he told his part-time promoter Eddie Hearn the same thing. During his press stop in New York for the Berlanga fight, Eddie asked me if I wanted to meet with Alik to discuss the Crawford fight in February, and I said no, I'm not interested in those discussions right now. Alik's heavy investment in boxing has attracted many fighters to Saudi Arabia, with offers they've never seen before, but Alvarez remains firm in his stance. At a recent card in Los Angeles, Alik was even honored with a special induction into the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, despite never running a promotion in the state.
Because in this fight, and I can talk about other fights. Maybe that's why he talked about that today, because I say I'm not ready to talk about other fights. And I don't really ask him for anything. I'm good.
Maybe that's why they made those announcements today, Alvarez said, referring to Alik's comments. I said no to discussing the fight because I'm focused on Berlanga. I didn't ask for anything, and maybe that upset them. Alik previously took a jab at Alvarez, claiming the UFC event at the Las Vegas Sphere on September 14th would overshadow Alvarez's card. However, Canelo, known for fighting on Mexican Independence Day weekend, brushed it off. I fight for my fans and my people. They've never let me down, he said, fresh off his unanimous decision win over Jaime Munguia on Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Yesterday, they text me. They text me and say, we can talk about the fight in February.
Alvarez emphasized his commitment to fighting on iconic dates, adding, I still believe I'm the world's best fighter, above Crawford, Inoue, and others. The Mexico versus Puerto Rico aspect of this fight motivates me. Even more, I'm ready to give it my all, as I always do. He expressed pride in representing Mexico against Puerto Rico, a country known for its incredible boxing talent.
Crawford? Super Bowl, right? Yeah. They text me yesterday, and I say, look, I'm not gonna talk about any other fight.
It's an honor to represent my country against a nation with so many great fighters, Alvarez added. Fans are also anticipating an intense matchup between trainers, with Canelo's Eddie Reynoso going up against Terrence, Crawford's Brian McIntyre. While McIntyre has guided Crawford to nothing but victories, Reynoso has led Alvarez to just 2 losses and 2 draws in 66 bouts, making this a battle of elite corners as well.
Eres más joven que él, Saúl, ¿eh? Eres más joven que él, hay que aprovechar eso, hijo, ¿eh?
Canelo comes over the top with an overhand right, lands right to the...
The partnership between Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Reynoso is one of the most successful and enduring in boxing history. It began in 2003 when a 14-year-old Canelo walked into Don Chepo Reynoso's gym in Guadalajara, Mexico. At the time, Eddie Reynoso was just 27 years old. Don Chepo quickly recognized Canelo's potential, impressed by his power and skill even at such a young age.
Triple G. Así, güey. Póngase bien. Listo, cabrón. Chile huevos, cabrón. ¿Eh? Siéntese, mijo. Se acabó.
Canelo's bond with the Reynosos, especially Eddie, grew beyond the typical trainer-fighter relationship, becoming more like a father-son connection. Eddie Reynoso played a pivotal role not only in developing Canelo's boxing skills, but also in shaping his illustrious career. Under Reynoso's guidance, Canelo rose to become one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters, winning multiple world titles across various weight classes.
Ya está, ya. Mijo, siguen 3 rounds, hay que hacerlo con velocidad, con inteligencia, güey. Eh?
In his last fight, Canelo faced an opponent as confident as Crawford is now. The opponent had boldly claimed he would knock out Canelo in just 6 rounds and boasted about being vastly superior to the Mexican super middleweight champion. Since then, this opponent has only escalated his statements, now aiming to retire Canelo from boxing entirely. Andy.
Definitely retire him, for sure. That's my goal, you know. And I'm not trying to sit here and disrespect him or nothing, like, he's a legend, you know.
I want to retire him for good. That's my goal. It's not about disrespect. He's a great fighter. But at At the end of the day, we have to fight, said Berlanga. Speaking with TMZ Sports, Berlanga went even further, stating that Canelo's time is up and he has what it takes to take his belts.
At the end of the day, we got to go in there, we got to fight, and we got to tussle, and we got to do what we got to do, you know what I'm saying? So, like, what he said something, he said, oh, every fighter wants a knockout. Yeah, everybody wants.
He's already done what he needed to do in the sport. Now it's my time to step in and take over. A new face is needed at 168 pounds, Berlanga declared. He concluded with confidence, saying, on September 14th, during that Mexico's Independence Day celebrations, I'll make history, become a legend, and take over the sport of boxing.
Shut
Hey, buddy,
You
that's
love
for
me
you.
get smacked. Go and check your
You think
beard.
he got more IQ than you?
While Berlanga prepares for his shot at Canelo, other names continue to call for a fight, including Jake Paul. Jake has made waves in boxing since starting in 2020. Meanwhile, Canelo has remained calm, cool, and collected, maintaining his throne as the super middleweight king. Opponents have come and gone, offering a mix of praise and respect for the Mexican champion.
His weight class, 75 is his weight class, and you know he do nothing in 175. Really.
Even longtime rival Gennady Golovkin kept things respectful during their third meeting, despite years of hostility. The last fighter to provoke Canelo before a fight was Caleb Plant, who scuffled with Alvarez at a press conference but was knocked out in the 11th round. Before Plant, Billy Joe Saunders engaged in trash talk throughout fight week, only to suffer a broken orbital bone and retire after their bout in 2021, a time when Canelo was at the peak of his powers.
Not the same, but he is his weight class, the 175, and I don't really want to say what he's need to do to.
That fight with Saunders marked the last time Canelo secured a knockout. Since then, he has experienced a loss to Dmitry Bivol at light heavyweight and claimed decision wins against Gennady Golovkin, John Ryder, Jermell Charlo, and Jaime Munguia. Now, Canelo promises a vintage performance when he takes on pound for pound King Terence Crawford in what is arguably the biggest fight in boxing. Canelo's advantage lies in his weight and power, which will be crucial in their clash. However, Crawford's speed and athleticism could pose significant challenges for the Mexican legend. Stay tuned for the latest updates on the world of boxing, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on notifications to ensure you don't miss any breaking news or quality content. Until next time, peace out.